So this is my exact strategy on how I plan to generate $5 million in revenue in 2022 with Shopify Dropshipping. Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. My name's Sebastian, known as the ECom King, and in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you exactly how I plan to generate $5 million in revenue this year with this strategic plan that I started to use last year, but I plan to scale it aggressively this year to generate $5 million. Now, the reason why you wanna watch this video in full and take it extremely serious is because if your goal this year is to achieve $100,000, $500,000, $1 million in revenue, whatever it is, this strategic plan can do exactly that. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because this exact strategy last year was able to generate for me over $1 million in revenue, and I'm going to be showing you 4 different stores that I used last year to use this strategy with. So in this video, I'm going to be going over 3 different points with you guys, and the first point is going to be exactly what the strategy is and how it works. The second point is going to be how you can replicate this in your own Shopify dropshipping business this year, and the third point is going to be a few examples from last year when I used this strategy. Now, I've really spoiled you guys on this video today because I'm going to be giving you guys a free Google Doc sheet and a free Google Slides that has all the copy and paste templates, exactly how you should strategize this to make your life easy when it comes to using this strategy. And everything in these Google Slides and Google Docs are from previous stores when we use this strategy. So everything in those Google Doc sheets and slides are real use case information that we've actually used ourselves and achieved $1 million in revenue with. Now, technically, the value of these Google Slides and free Google Docs are worth $1 million because this is exactly what we use to achieve $1 million in revenue. So if you want those Google Doc Slides and Google Slides, then make sure we hit 3,500 likes on this video. Then I'll leave them in the pinned comment section below and in the description. Now, if you want early access to all of these free Google Doc sheets and Google Slides and all these other things that I announce on my YouTube videos, make sure you become a part of the ECom King VIP family member to make sure you get early access to everything that I announce. Now, there will be a join button somewhere below next to the subscribe button so you can find all the information out. And you can find out all the information about becoming an ECom King family member and a VIP member because there's loads of benefits of doing so. Now, before we actually get into the video today, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications on, leave a comment in the comment section below on how you found the video. Also, make sure you smash that like button. So 1, you can help the YouTube channel out, and number 2, you guys can get yourselves the Google Slides and Google Doc sheets. Now, the first thing that I want to do, guys, quickly is show you 4 different stores from last year where we use these strategies on, just to show you that they actually work. Now, do bear in mind that the stores that I'm going to be showing you are in euros and are in pounds, so just bear that in mind when you look at the numbers. So as you guys can see on the screen, this first store achieved last year £150,000 in revenue, and if you work it out, it's like $180,000 to $200,000. Now, as you guys can see on the screen is refreshing and the numbers are staying the exact same. Now, do bear in mind, guys, that we started testing the strategy last year. That's why we didn't scale it so aggressively. But if you look at the actual chart here, you can see we started scaling at the end of the year because we found out that this strategy worked very effectively. So this is the second store on the screen, and as you guys can see, we achieved over 114,000 euros in revenue, and you can see during August to September we achieved these numbers, and that's because that's when we started using the strategy, and that's absolutely insane. So this is the third store on the screen. You can see we achieved over 63,000 euros in revenue last year with it, and this is the fourth store on the screen, and you can see we achieved over 35,000 euros in revenue, and you can see we literally did that within one single day. That's why the chart looks like this, guys, and I know guys are going to be speculative over it, so I'm going to refresh the screen so you guys can see this is exactly the same. So you guys can see the screen's refreshed, stay the exact same. So this was literally just one single day we achieved those numbers with, and that works out to be something like $45,000 to $50,000. So when you guys see this strategy, you'll understand why these numbers are like this. So what is the strategy? The strategy is where you partner up with influencers, whether it be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and you help them start an e-commerce business, because a lot of these influencers today on social media, they have a massive following, hundreds of thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they want to monetize their audience. Now, most times what they end up doing is they end up becoming affiliates or sponsors with these companies where they take a small percentage. Why would they do that when they can start their own e-commerce brands and take the majority of the money and then sell the company once it's worth millions of dollars? So this is where we as experts in the e-commerce field reach out to these influencers and say, look a second, you're promoting these other companies making a small amount of money when you can start your own brand and sell your own products that you want to sell and have a passion behind it. it and then sell it once it's made loads of money. And then when you tell them that and they're thinking, oh, hold on a second, I'd love to do that, but it sounds a little bit complicated, I don't think I can manage it on my own, that's when you as the expert manage literally everything for them. You just tell them to promote it, you just tell them what to do, and you help them build a brand, whether it be what products they want. Now, let's say, for example, we find an influencer in the beauty industry on TikTok that are making viral nail varnish videos and they're super viral now and they're super popular. Then what we can do is we can help them start an e-commerce brand where they sell their own nail acrylics, they sell their own nail varnishes, and we can find those products from our drop shipping sites. And then when they make those videos on their TikToks showing their nail varnish tutorials, they're using their own nail varnish from their own e-commerce stores, and they'll leave the link in their bio or in the description, and that's how this strategy works. Now, I know a lot of you guys that are probably listening to this are going to think it's very simple, but trust me when I say this, it's not as simple as it sounds, and it can get very complex and very time consuming. That's why you got to take this strategy extremely serious. Now, this is totally different to standard dropshipping. Technically, it is still dropshipping, but you're having to build a relationship and trust with an influencer that has trust in you to actually build them a solid brand that's actually going to do well. And you're also going to have to learn to manage the influencer and tell them exactly how to strategically do this to make it most effective. And by far, the hardest part of this strategy is finding an influencer that actually wants to work with you, because the influencers that you need to work with need to have hundreds of thousands of views and millions of followers. So the barrier to entry is quite high. Let's quickly talk about the pros and cons of this strategy. And the pros to the strategy is you're actually not going to need any advertising budget when using this strategy, because majority of it is going to be all organic, where you're using the influencer's audience to actually sell the products. Say you're going to want to scale with the influencers. After you've made a decent amount of money from their organic following, you can then reinvest that money into, let's say, paid ads if they want to scale the brand. When it comes to paying for costs, things like paying for products, paying for subscription plans, paying for Shopify, you don't need to be paying for that. The influencer should be covering everything. Your job is just to basically help them start a brand and scale it, and that's what they're basically getting from you. You don't need to be paying for anything. Now, the next pro to this strategy is the profit margins are insane. Now, typically with dropshipping, you're looking at 15 to 35%. Now, with this strategy, you're looking at 30 to 45%, which is insane. Now, the first negative thing about the strategy is the barrier to entry for the strategy is quite high, because number one, you need to understand how marketing works, especially on social media. Number two, you need to understand how to negotiate with the influencers to get a good deal. Now, the deal that I typically do is 60-40. They keep 60%, I keep 40%. And this is based on the shares of the company or on the shares of what the profit is. Now, the third negative point to this strategy is it's very time consuming and it's quite hard to scale the strategy. Now, the reason why it's very time consuming is because you have to manage the influencer, you have to do outreach to find influencers, then you've actually got to do the work for the influencer. Then when it comes to scaling the strategy, you want to be working with around about 1 to 5 big influencers, and you've got to think when you're working between 1 and 5 influencers, that's going to take up some serious time. And how we manage it is we have a big team in place to manage this actual structure. Now, eventually, after your first or second influencer, you're going to have to start getting a team in place if you want this strategy to be scalable, and that's exactly what we've had to do this year to plan on achieving $5 million in revenue, which has grown a bigger team to make this work. I'm sure that this is the bit that you guys are most excited about, which is how to do this strategy step by step. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to Collabstar, and I'll leave a link in the description. This is completely free, and this website helps you find really successful influencers. And the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to where it says platform. Now, in my opinion, right now, the best influencers are on TikTok. So click TikTok, and then you can see it says category. Now, this depends on what you want to find the influencer in. Now, if you want my opinion, the best thing to do is by picking what you have the most interest and passion in. Now, for example, if I've got most passion in health and wellness, then I'm going to click health and fitness. Now, in terms of followers, you want to do it between 500 and a million and the rest up. So you want to be doing all of these ones, and then you want to hit search. Now, once you search for those filters, it's going to show you all the influencers that meet those criteria, and you want to be looking for the influencers that charge the most. So you can see this one charges $1,000, this one charges $1,100, and what this means is if you were to work with this influencer, and let's say you're an e-commerce brand and you want them to post your product, they're going to charge you $1,000 for just one post. Now, the reason why you want to go for the ones that charge the most is because it tends to mean that they've got the best quality actual audience. So you can see this couple here, which is a lifestyle couple content creator. You can see that these guys post content online about relationships and things like that. Now, once you're on their profile on Collabstar, the first thing that you want to do is just open up all their social media icons, which you'll find under their name. And once you've done that, you want to check the TikTok account first, because that's the most important one. And you can see they've got 1.3 million followers, and you want to see how many views they're getting recently, not a year ago, not 3 months ago. They're based on their recent status. So you can see recently they've been able to get 1 million views, 500,000 views, 2.1 million views, and you can see they're just posting content about couple clips and something cute like that. Now, you know that they promote e-commerce products because they're on Collabstar. They wouldn't be on Collabstar if they weren't looking for advertisers to advertise on their social media network. And you can see here they've got a Mr. and Mrs. hoodie on here. That could be a collaboration. They're promoting toothbrushes here. That could be a collaboration post. So you don't know which ones are collaborations, but you definitely know they're looking to collaborate with e-commerce brands. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to try and see if they've not got their own brand. Now, a lot of these guys might already have their own e-commerce brand, so you're going to have to go on their Instagram, you're going to have to go on their TikTok, you're going to have to go on their YouTube and see if they've already got their own brand. But from what I've seen so far, these guys haven't got their own e-commerce brand yet. They're only promoting other people's brands. Once you find an influencer that's in your desired niche and they've got some really good views, really good engagement, they've got a big following, then the next thing that you need to make sure that they haven't got is they haven't got their own e-commerce brand. And if they haven't got their own e-commerce brand, the next thing that you need to do is you need to go to AliExpress like I have here, and I've typed in his and hers. And the reason why I've done this is because I'm going to find potential products that they could make a store around to actually have their own e-commerce brand. So you can see here, they're coming up with these his and hers rings, these his and her bracelets. So what I might want to propose to these guys is, why not start a jewelry store where you're selling his and her jewelry that correlates really nicely with what they're doing on their social media accounts. And this is extremely important. Before you send an email, before you send anything to these guys, you need to have a plan in action on what they could potentially do as their own e-commerce brand, so they can see the vision that you're trying to paint. Once you guys have found some products that these influencers could potentially sell as their own e-commerce brand, and you can paint the vision to the type of store that they can own, then you're going to want to reach out to them, and you're going to want to find their email address. Sometimes it'll be on their TikTok, sometimes it'll be in their YouTube channel under the About section, sometimes it'll be on their Instagram, but you're definitely going to find it on one of their social media pages. Now, once you've got their contact information, preferably being their email address, the next thing that you're going to want to do is, now you can either do this manually or you can hire people. Now, me personally, I've had more success by hiring people, and what you want to do is you want to head over to Fiverr, and you can see here, this one is, I will send bulk emails, bulk email blast marketing campaign. So basically how this works is, once you find, let's say 50 different influencers, you got their email addresses, you're going to want to hire somebody like this, and what they're going to do is they're going to be doing what we call an email blast. And this is where they send loads of emails every few days talking about your proposal, because once you send one email, they're probably not going to read it and they're probably not going to be interested. But if you email them 10 different times, they're probably going to be interested. And these people are professionals when it comes to doing email blasts that are actually successful. Now, that brings us on to the next part of the strategy, which is, what should you be putting in the email address, or what should you be sending the person on Fiverr as a freelancer to put in these email addresses? Now, like I said to you guys before, in the free Google Doc sheet, there is an example of different emails that we've sent out to other influencers that you can use to structure your email. But this is all unique. So for that influencer here, Brent and whoever it is, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, we would put something custom to them. You can't just copy and paste everything to a different influencer. Even if they're in the same industry, you can't just copy and paste the email. You need to make it a very personal. If you want to be able to speak to these people on a personal level, they've got millions of followers. They ain't just going to give their time to anybody. You need to personally be able to connect with them and get them to understand the vision that you have for them. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you construct something of yourself and you really work out who these people are, what they are, what do they like doing, what do they really have as ethics and morals. And once you find out these different characteristics, you can put them in an email. So let's say they're family orientated. Let's say they want to start their own e-commerce brand. Let's say they want to have money and freedom. These are things that you can put in the email for them to understand. So you do have to to spend a lot of time to understand who these influencers are and what they really care about, so when you send these emails, they're more likely to reply to you. Now let's talk about the proposal. Now when you get to the proposal, you'll hear off one of the influencers that you've email blasted, and they're interested in hearing what your plan is. And this is what we call the proposal, and this is extremely important. If you do not nail this part, you're going to lose the influencer and they're not going to be interested. Now this is a real proposal that we did for one of our influencers, so this is actually a real life case proposal. So we proposed to the influencer to manage everything from A to Z for him, from supplier research to product design to getting custom content designed to the copywriting to the email marketing, in exchange of what we would be using his personal brand to leverage this store. You can see in that first part there, we explain exactly what we're going to be offering them in exchange for them to give up their audience for us to all make money together. So you can see that we're going from suppliers. Now, if you have watched the free course on the Channel 2022 course, or any of the free courses I've made on this YouTube channel, you'll know how to find suppliers. You'll know how to do product research. And if you've watched the 2023 course, you'll know how to do product design, 3PL and things like that. So if you haven't already, make sure you watch those videos at the end of this video. Then we go over custom content. If you've watched the course, you'll know where I get custom content made from to understand how it works and how custom content should be done. Then you go over the copywriting and email marketing. And again, don't want to repeat myself again, but I'll go over how to do all of this in my free course. So this is where you can learn how to do this. Now, the next part of the proposal would be, when it comes to promoting the product, we agreed that he would need to follow precisely our influence marketing scripts to make sure the promotion will be successful. Now, what this means is, we already know what he or she already needs to say on their Instagram stories, on their TikTok videos. We already know what kind of content they should be making around the product. So we just need them to follow it to actually make this work. So you already need to make sure that the influencer knows that you know what you're talking about. You know what they need to do to make this a success. Because if they feel like you don't know what you're doing, they're not going to give you their time. Now, the next part of the proposal is going to be the negotiation. Now, if the lighting looks different on the video, that's because the sun has decided to come out. So I apologize if the lighting has changed a lot. Now, when it comes to negotiation, we negotiated 40% to us, 60% to the influencer. Now, when it comes to negotiating with the influencer, number one, know your value, and number two, do not disrespect the influencer by saying something stupid like, you can keep 30%, I'll keep the rest, because that's just going to be extremely disrespectful. Now, the next thing is, as we are now buying stock, our profit margin is around 80%. Now, sometimes, and this is very important, some influencers might not want to drop ship. So they might not want to do drop shipping, so you might have to do something called a 3PL, which is a third-party logistics, where you're buying in bulk and they're private labeling. Some influencers might say, yeah, let's just drop ship to start with, make a bit of money, then reinvest that into building a brand. Some will just say, no, I only want to build a brand to start with. That's when you're going to want to have to buy in bulk, private label it, then keep it a third PL. But again, I've taught you all of this on my free course, so you're going to know how to do this. Now, another thing is, don't worry if you're thinking it's a bit expensive, they're not going to be able to afford it. These influencers should already have quite a lot of money, especially if they're charging $500 to $1,000 per sponsor. They've definitely got a bit of money around to pay for this type of stuff. Now, let me go over the first test that we did with this influencer. We created a landing page on ClickFunnels and made a series of photos with the influencer presenting the yoga pants. Now, this was all about yoga pants, by the way, which is basically the sports industry. So what we did is we created a landing page. You can do this on Shopify as well, and I've taught you how to do that in the free course. And basically what you want to do is you want to make sure that the influencer is on the landing page, so when the audience goes to the landing page, they can already connect with it because they're already familiar with the person on the screen. We worked out on the copyright in the sense that the idea was these trousers would allow you to achieve a high level of certainty, be healthier and more confident regardless of your weight, as they are worn in large size. This is another really important thing. You need to make sure that the influencer tells you what their audience is, what they like, what they don't like, what they want and what they don't want. Because if you don't know that, then you're not going to be able to sell something that they want and desire. So you need to find out what their audience desires so you can get the influencer to sell something that he knows or she knows the audience is desiring. Now, the next thing is we ask the influencer to promote the product on his feed 1 week before the launch. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your influencer to tease their audience to say, look, we're starting a brand, whether it be a yoga set, whether it be earrings, bracelets, and you're going to want to tease them and say, look, we are going to announce this and it's going to launch in 1 week. There, you've got the excitement, their audience knows about it, and boom, on launch date, they're going to buy a lot of it. Then you can see here, they made sure that they followed the briefs precisely. You need to make a brief to let them know how they should be doing this. list. Then you can see at the same time, we were running several ads on a lead magnet about mindfulness to collect email addresses. So what we also did, and again, this isn't a must, you don't have to always do this. We were running ads to actually get emails on Facebook. So we did email list ones where you sign up. So basically you get a free cheat sheet on how to lose weight. We collect emails. That's a great way to collect emails. It's a cheap way to do it. And that's what we did. We prepared a well-optimized email sequence to nurture our leads and drive them to the conversion. So what we did with those emails once we captured them is we worked out, segmented which ones are real serious, which ones ain't serious. Then the ones that were serious, we were then again pre-launching to them that we're launching this collection. So for those that don't know what a lead magnet ad looks like, this is exactly what it looks like on the screen. So you start off by doing yoga tips, whether it be an ebook, and you can do something called a PLR. Now a PLR is where you can find yoga books or any types of books for free on the internet, and you can actually private label them as yours, and you can have the full copyright to it. So it's called a PLR or a PNR, something like that, but I'll leave a link in the description. And this basically just means you can find ebooks, make them your own private labeled ebook, and you got the rights to them. So that's what you do. You make an ebook, you drive awareness to it, then you create UGC content, and it must be that the client makes if the client doesn't make the UGC content, there's no point because it's all about his audience. Then you do an opt-in lead conversion, then you do a tease where you do a storytelling ad where you tell the audience what the product's about, what the influencer's about. Now this is how the email marketing sequence looks. Now remember, the top one where it says lead magnets is about running ads, and the bottom one is email marketing. So the top one is by getting the emails, and the bottom one is what you do with the emails. So the 3-day tips and values. So for 3 days on emails, you're going to give them tips and values. Then the second day you do UGC content videos, testimonial videos. Then on days 2, you're going to be doing more teasing. And then 1 day before the launch, you're going to give people a launch discount. So you're going to say to them, look, because you're early, because you're new, we're going to give you a discount. So when on the day of the launch, you're going to receive a massive discount compared to everybody else. And then on day 1, sale ending. The sale's ending, you must buy now. That way it creates urgency. So when I showed you at the start of the video, those stores that achieved like 80,000 in 1 day, that's because of the email marketing sequence. Now let's cover the brief influencer marketing strategy. So this is what you need to tell the influencer, and this is what you need to work on. Phase 1, teasing. So it's all about teasing. Phase 2 is all about teasing again. And phase 3 is about launching the product that you're going to want to sell with the influencers. So week 1, before the promo, we asked the influencer to wear the pant in a natural way and talk about the pant's benefits and how it acts to help stay confident and cozy during the day. We also asked him to promote the lead magnet several times to help collect some more email addresses. So basically, he would have said on his story, join the email list to get certain benefits and perks. Now, phase 2, we asked the influencer to run a giveaway to win a pair of trousers worth £300 and then an online program worth £2,500, all the while spreading the word about the benefits and comfort of the pants. In order to participate, you simply have to answer a tiebreaker question by registering via a landing page. Again, this allows us to collect emails and work out which ones are serious and which ones ain't serious. Now, the reason why we did the £300 giveaway was to get people to want to do it. If you're not giving something away that's worth something valuable, they're not going to participate. Now, we did that, and we also did the program. Now, the reason why this one has a program is because the influencer sells these online programs, so this is why we did that as well. Now, you might not have the online program one because your influencer doesn't have an online program. So what you might want to do is you might want to give away an ebook, which is worth £50, and give away one of the products that they plan on selling. Now, phase 3 is all about the launch. Good news, folks, as you guys really enjoyed my free ebook about mindfulness routine, I was getting a lot of questions about it. You used to feel comfortable, confident during the day, during those stressful times. On top of that, if you buy apparel, we'll give you an extra 30% discount on my online course that'll help you achieve X, Y, and Z. This offer is only available for the next 24 hours. So this is like a joint offer. So if they buy the product that you're planning on selling them, then they get a discount on the online course. But again, this is only if your influencer has some form of online digital product. So again, you might have to split this up, because if they don't, then you will just give them the discount on the product, and if they buy that, they can get a free ebook. Now let's talk about the adjustment phase. And the adjustment phase is basically once you've worked with the influencer, you've worked out what their audience likes, what they don't like, how the actual launch of the e-commerce brand went. This is when you can start to adjust things to make them work a little bit better. The first adjustment adjustment we made is we branded the product and we ordered it in stock to help with the shipping times because they were very painful. We asked our supplier to enhance the materials used on the product as we had some unhappy customers that were complaining about the quality. Now, this is what you're going to get, guys. When you work with these influencers, they are going to get feedback from their audience saying the quality on that was not the best. This is where you can improve once you've done the first launch. We hired some other influencers to promote the product, being brand ambassadors. They take a percent, so it's basically affiliate marketing. We can track this by using UTMs on Google, or you can download something like ECOM app where you make an affiliate marketing program. And again, I've made a video of that on my channel. Create some email sequence to leverage UGC in order to get some reposts and content we can use in our marketing sequences. And then the last adjustment we made is we tried thinking about how we can do this long term instead of just doing a launch campaign, and how we're going to structure doing this throughout the next year. That was just one real life example on how we actually do that strategy and how we do the proposal and how we do the launch and everything that you need to know so you guys can do it. Now, I've got another example right here, which is 435,000 euros in 3 months doing the exact same strategy. And you can see here our testing, our brief marketing, our proposal. It's the exact same thing right here, but I've given you guys another example. Now, again, if we hit 3,500 likes on this video, I'll leave a link to this one in the description alongside with the free Google Docs sheet that has all the copy and paste templates. So that's my strategy on how I plan on generating $5 million in revenue with Shopify Dropshipping in 2022. I hope you guys have learned something. I hope you guys can use this strategy this year, and let me know what you thought in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.